from the Kundalini fellow. And we'll...
Oh, yes. Let's see how...
Okay, we'll check in and see how he's doing.
We'll check in and see how he's actually doing here.
Exactly. I do see that snake in him, Kundalini. In him. Kind of a form, and then you see that kind of gone up and in his that form that he's reflecting. He's definitely settled with that. He's kind of sitting, he's sitting, he's settled with it. He's just kind of sitting there with it. I mean, what can you do? It's there now. It's awakened. There's nothing.
Exactly.
What can you do? It's in you.
Once it's there, it's there. That's it. Yeah, so he's doing the mantra and stuff.
He is, and at least he's not speaking a lot now, but quite obviously he is enjoying the quietude that's there on, wherever he was sitting, I think on that third shelf. But so, and he's just sitting, he's reflecting, he's sitting, it looks pretty relaxed, and the Kundalini's there, and he's okay. So, at least in this moment, there's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go ahead and put him over and let him answer it to the crystal cave. That's a good place for Kundalini sitting.
Oh, sounds good. Okay, we'll do that.
He can transfer to the cave there. It's a good place for Kundalini.
Okay, he's flowed into there, no problemo. So there he is. And that wasn't...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so that's good energy to have around. Okay, so now we're going to move on with our lineup. Like I say, I think there's just like 14 or something today, which isn't too bad. We'll start with this one. Okay, I'm seeing the rock reflected in my mind, and some different shades of light and different things coming off of it. A little bit of darkness too, but we'll see. Okay, he's just saying, I want to be led to God.
Okay, that's a good place to be.
And okay, I see kind of a net in this, like a web or something, maybe reflected in this stone. Kind of,
so he's getting caught where? What's his sticking point?
That's the thing. It's kind of a web of mind he's in, a web that he's in.
Yeah, the sticking point and that, yeah, all that stuff going on. So if it's a mental thing, then I would say the COS.
Okay.
COS and the Om that I am, the I am that I am, and just to continue to be in the moment, Be quiet, be more still, allow those things to take effect and slow the mind and still it and calm it.
Okay, so that's being transmitted to him, and we'll just move forward now. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next. It's a nice, clear, pretty rock in a way. It's got a lot of, kind of put it up a little bit. You can see how kind of clear.
Oh yeah, it's pretty one.
It is pretty. Kind of nice to look at. Okay. Okay, so I'm hearing, I let my heart be covered over with clouds. I do see a heart with some clouds over it. Okay, so I'm hearing some kind of heartbreak. Heartbreak. Some kind of union that was there, some kind of relationship. I see a marriage of sorts, and let's see. Okay, she left him, that kind of thing. And when that was reflected, those two being joined in marriage, there was a lot of light. There was like a love, there was a heart being reflected. But what he's saying is that she left him. And then I see someone sitting there with his hands in his head in his hands, just weeping.
Right. And she left him. Why?
Okay, she wasn't ill. It wasn't like something like that where she passed. I wanted to see.
Right.
She was angry at something. He was too closed in his way. He was too closed. He kind of shut himself into doing, maybe, I guess, getting involved in a lot of other things, and it sort of shut, she felt shut out. I kind of see him in this sort of dark world. She's there as light there, but he's,
he
more
shut himself out.
He shut himself out with whatever.
He shut the door. Shut the door. So now he's going to bemoan it. He's the one that shut the door.
Right.
He's the one that really walked away. He closed her out.
Right.
Does he not see that? Really, he walked away first.
I think he's feeling like he always loved her, like he didn't quite understand in some ways why she'd do that. But the image was one of him more in a darker space, her light, like they were separate like that, like he wasn't allowing that in, and I think he still feels, well, I always loved her,
and
though.
So if he's, well, no, that's not love. That's not love. If you don't let somebody in, that's not love.
Right, right.
What kind of love is that shuts somebody out and then says, but I loved her? No, maybe you wanted her, but that's not love if you're going to shut her out. You close the door on somebody. Then you want her for your own ego gratification, but what are you giving back?
Yeah, because I do see her made of light. It feels more like it was him that was
exactly. He
doing
shut
this.
her out. He walked away, and then of course they want to play the blame game. But I loved her. No, you didn't make room for her.
Exactly. There was no room in his world in whatever way choices he made, his activities that crowded her out of that. And
right.
And let's see what that was about for him, why he crowded her out.
We'll find out what it is, but that's what he's got to see. She did not leave him. He left her at first. He locked up his heart. He's the one, he didn't open to allow that.
Yeah, let me get...
So he can't sit here and moan it and cry it now that she left and she did this to me and poor me. This is the time to learn a very valuable lesson.
Yeah, perfect. So we'll let that sink into him a little bit and see what happens. He's hearing it, but he's aching. His head, like I say, his head is in his hands.
But I mean, that can be breached. That can be mended immediately. But he's got to open himself to it. He can't continue to shut it out. He's the one that's continuing to shut up his heart. He's feeling sorry for himself, and he's got himself shut up in his own cage still.
Exactly.
If he would have kept himself open to her then, she would have been there. And if he opened himself to her now, she would be there.
Okay, I do see some more light coming in to him. I see some kind of arms there. It could be that woman, or at least some kind of energy of that.
Yeah, absolutely. That can come back in there immediately. But he's got to open his heart to it, and he's got to learn you can't shut it out and prioritize everything else first.
Right.
And say, well, I love her, so she's just always going to be there for me.
Exactly. So totally.
Of course, I have no time for her, and I'll it's just enough that she's around. That no.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah, that sounds like the story there. There is some light around him, someone with arms open, but he is still kind of a little block of darkness there. And I don't think he's looking at it. He's just not. So.
No, he's got to look at it. If he wants that to come back, if he wants that union to come back, then he's got to open and he's got to let go of this nonsense. It can't be from this ego perspective, but I want it, therefore I'm going to have it, and it's going to be my way. You have to let go of that.
He's getting a little more more light is penetrating.
Yeah, I'm sure that she's there and that union is there. But again, he's got to really open that heart and allow it in and be honoring of it.
Yeah,
not compartmentalizing it.
Exactly. And the way it feels in some ways is like she never really left. He just blocked her out.
Exactly. That's why I said he shut the door on her. She didn't leave him. He shut the door on her. And that's what he needs to see. And when he can come to that and honor that and see that for the reality that it is, then he can open that door.
Sure.
He can seek forgiveness and can reopen that door, because I'm sure she would forgive him, if he comes in sincerity.
Yeah, he's got, and whether it's her or the feeling of her, it looks more like kind of an angelic figure there. And it is, the lights coming into that sort of block of darkness is all I can tell you right now. Is she just seemed like a sweet-hearted person.
Yeah.
And I could see why he did love her so much. She was one of those that was just that way always, really quite a...
But you can't sit there and say, well, because they're so sweet and wonderful, and I care for them, that you can abuse it, that you can abuse the relationship and shut them out and not give them any time.
Yeah, because I see her a little bit, she's looking at, surprised by it. I mean, she didn't...
Right, exactly, because he's starving out the relationship. She wants to give, but he's not leaving any time for her to give.
That's it, and it was his choice. I mean, she's there. She remained the same throughout, and one of those kind of spirits.
But there's only so much you can take. If you're shut out, you're shut out.
Absolutely, and there was no room for her. So she is... There is that light feeling of her, and it is definitely going into that blocky darkness. And we'll see maybe more what he has to say. I'm asking him if he's able to take responsibility for his part in this.
He has to. If he's not willing to, then there's no way it can move forward. But he's got to learn from this experience and accept responsibility, and then open to change. Mm-hmm. If he's willing to do that door can open. 100%.
He is beginning to see and feel some of this, of what you're saying. It is slowly coming into view a little bit. It is, not fully or anything, but he definitely has that angelic kind of light around him, and which is another thing to say, that these energies, this purity is around, and when it's shut out, it's shut out. It's kind of,
so he can ask to feel what her feelings were with this. Ask to feel what she was feeling with this. I'm sure she went through a lot of pain and heartbreak, loved him immensely, but if you're shut out, you're shut out, and you want to give and you're not allowed to give.
Right. Okay, so what I'm seeing is some tears, tears of sadness that's kind of flowing into that darkness, trying to help him to feel.
Right, let him feel what she was feeling, what he put her through.
So there's tears.
That indeed she loves him, and she always loved him, but he pushed her aside.
Right. So those tears are flowing through. They're light though. I mean, they're made of light in a way. They're not, they're still in love, they're,
right.
So they're kind of flowing there. He is sort of shaken by that for a minute. I can feel him coming out, like she was so hurt, or she was, he just was so in his own.
He's got to see that. He's got to see what he put her through and understand that. And accept his part in it. She didn't want to leave. If you love somebody, you don't want to leave. You have the best, you want the best. But if you're shut out, you're shut out, and they starve the relationship. If you're not being fed and you're being starved, you can only live for so long, and it kills it, shuts the door. No other option but to move on.
So it does show, those tears, and then there's also a feeling of someone that's holding their heart, like, the love that was there, and just so sad that, they didn't, that union, then it showed that beautiful union where they were initially married, where that bright heart was there, and how it changed to that.
Right.
And how it really hurt her
and the
soul.
Loss of what it could have been, exactly.
Yeah. Because it was so fresh and white, with that heart, and then it turned to this, him in that more of a dark block of his own world.
Right.
And then her, as still as light, and she just didn't know what else to do. It's kind of like, if you can't penetrate, if you can't get in there, what can you do?
Exactly. Exactly. There's only so much you can take of being shut out.
Totally.
Of feeling shut out. It doesn't matter how much you love somebody, if they're not going to give you the time of day and they don't have time for you, then how important are you really in their world? So that's what he needs to understand. And when he can understand that, then he can seek forgiveness for that, and I'm sure she will be right back there. But he's got to, repent of that.
For sure. So he is shaken up by that, by those feelings coming in, because they are kind of newer feelings, where he's been more, oh, she did this, or she left me.
He's been playing the blame game and pointing the finger.
So they're newer, kind of quaking him a bit, like, what in the world is this all about?
Exactly. He needs to be shaken up. He needs to feel what he put her through and understand it, and then ask for forgiveness.
Right, and I do see some flowers coming from that, and I think it's just more kind of saying that when this kind of opening occurs, there's room for growth,
Exactly, there is.
More that's coming from the light as a symbol, as a message of that,
Right, and it can change around very, very rapidly, but he's got to accept what he did, and then seek forgiveness for that, and move to openness.
Okay, I do see that block of darkness kind of, being torn apart a bit. It's being
Good.
torn up. And there's that flower with the tears kind of raining in with the flower coming. So, and that there's a rip in that dark
Good.
block.
Good. So we're making some progress there.
He does, I
So
see.
once he lets go of that blame game, and that he's been so hurt and abused and so misused and misunderstood, etc., all that nonsense that he's telling himself,
Yeah.
and when it comes to the reality of the situation, then he can open the door, can open the door to that freshness again, what was there to begin with.
Yeah, and I do see some arms coming from that kind of block and tears and just kind of stretched out. So and that part's feeling good, and there is that flower there, that, kind of white flower. He is remembering now their wedding. He's remembering how that was so beautiful and, so full of, everything was white and pure, and that love was, he's looking in her eyes, and they're just,
Exactly.
they're in love, they're just this pure love.
He needs to come back to that. He needs to come back to that and open his heart, and then not put other priorities in front of that ever again.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
And then
scene.
he can, they can do another, they can come together. You can come together in spirit. You don't have to be separate. You can come together in spirit, even closer than you were in corporeal form.
Absolutely.
But you got to open yourself to it, and you got to do it the right way. You can't shut them out.
He's still got that image of them looking into each other's eyes at the wedding, and that's nice. There's some birds flying, white birds flying. So I think they're in a good hands right now. Unless, what else did you want with this soul?
So we can leave him over there to just continue to work with this.
Okay.
I'm checking with him again Monday, whatever. We can check in. But he needs to know he can go back and have a union with this other person without a problem, but he needs to open himself again and go back to that, and not shut him out any longer.
And I did briefly see an image of a man and woman embracing, so I think he's hearing you, and he's happy with that. There's a glow of light there. So what we'll do, that's great, and I think we'll just let him simmer over by the healing center.
Yeah, we'll put him by the healing center because he needs some healing in this, and I'm sure she needs some healing with it as well, a little bit.
Well, for sure.
So we'll, when he gets to that point, he can call her and she will come. That spirit will come, and they can continue to mend that. Yeah,
because she's feeling more she's, like I say, I think she'll be quicker to come around than him, but
absolutely, 100% she will be. She has, if she hasn't moved from that state, she will absolutely, but he's got to come around and be honoring of it.
Of course, and that's
in the correct way.
And it's moving in that direction. So I'm going to put him back here. I'm going to put him by these white, there's some white birds back there too. I'll put him by that.
It's a good place to be then.
And then maybe, it'll help keep that sort of wedding feeling, that union going.
Right, exactly. It's like they were showing those hearts come together as one heart in that vibration, but that vibration has got to be in sync. They can't be off like that. One vibrating much more rapidly and the other one this slow and sluggish, then they can't meld.
Right, because it was there before. It was there.
Exactly.
So, something changed within him, and he can get that back again. He can recover that.
He can get that back again, 100%, yeah.
Which is the best part in this whole thing. So, anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We would like to see that together and come together in that joy and stuff. Absolutely.
Of course. It's a beautiful thing. So, so we'll go on to our next thing. Little darker stone.
Yes.
Never know with that.
one of our little smokies.
Smoky.
What's in the smoky today?
Smoky smoke. Okay, so initially I do see that stone. It's dark and rich, but beautifully inside there is this wonderfully sparkling diamond. Beautiful, beautiful.
Ah, that's nice.
It's just kind of got a little bit of a bluer hue, but it's clear. Very, very, very lovely. So I'm kind of going to enjoy that for a minute if you don't mind.
It sounds like a wonderful image to enjoy.
I mean, you know,
soak that in.
You see diamonds in real life, but when you see something like this, it's full of changing, these lights are just fabulous. So let's see. I see some light coming into that too. And from outside, more outside of that image, and I see from that as like a source. It almost feels like the source reflected that light, and then that diamond shines as a reflection or something. That's what it's feeling. Okay. So in that diamond, I'm seeing some different images. I mean, I guess a little shifting colors, changing, almost feels like the world is coming into view. Some green trees and different things. Okay, so let's see if there's a question or a message. Okay, it sounds like it's more of a reflective message. So through this, there's more of this rich darkness, and this source is just pouring in. Okay, they're kind of saying they're like the spirit of absolute, or that they're kind of resonate that.
Right.
I just kind of hear absolute. I do see in this, all of a sudden I'm seeing more of a, like a pool of water with this, from the source, this water being just poured in. I mean, just pouring in, like, it's just that continual pouring of grace.
It's always flowing. Rivers of living waters. It's always there, always present.
Yeah. It's really very nice. I just want to see if there's anything else that might rise from that. Okay, it's swirling. The water's swirling a bit. There is a rose coming up from that, Okay, and then there's some hands too. There's a form you see holding one side of the rose and another the other, and they are looking in love at each other. They're in love. It's love, and it's kind of just in love. It's love itself. I don't know. So anyway, so let's see. Okay, they're saying something else needs to be kind of come. So. Okay, so it does look a little more like an image of Mary coming up.
Okay.
Very beautiful, very, very white, just with white, and just stunning. And I'll see if anything needs to be said with that.
Okay.
Okay, all I really see is love written out. So I just think it's more, they're feeling more settled with that. They wanted to portray that purity and love message. So
that it's always available.
Yeah.
It's there, it's always available.
Really beautiful. So thank you so much.
Thank
you. Okay, I think they're okay with, I think they have more work to do, so they want to move forward. So, okay, so work to do to help others,
right.
Emanating that energy.
The love energy.
The love energy. We'll take it.
Divine love.
Divine love. Come on, flow. So, okay, so let's see what this next one. Again, I see this rock in my mind, which is kind of a cool rock. As you see, it's got kind of some gray, little gray and some lines, and it's just got a lot of kind of cool looking colors there. So, and I do see that in my mind. It is forming more of a triangle now. Triangle. With a lot of light coming from the triangle. They're kind of, and I hear Shakti energy, so within this triangle and the light. I don't know, the 3 points signify something I'm feeling. Trying to get a feeling more what they're...
Bad boy.
Okay, so they're kind of trying to convey more of a mathematical thing a little bit. You know, these sorts of boxes, and I don't know if they're called... the only thing I know, I've read before something about platonic solids, like they have some sort of energy and message and meaning and symbolism. But let's see what else. There's kind of a little point in there with a dot and light coming from this triangle.
This 0 point balance, that still point, right.
And it's very nice. It's just piercing and just bright white light. So
yeah, it's kind of like another take on the yantra, but it's just not as many triangles involved in this what it's showing now. Yeah,
you know, it feels that way. I guess you can almost think of pyramids too. They've got all that energy held in them. I don't know. Right. It's just got that kind of very energy.
Kind of linga and yoni too. Yeah. The triangle is like the yoni, and that dot is the linga. It's another symbolism of very that much. Type of thing. Yeah.
And you could feel that same kind of feeling. That's really nice that you put it that way, because it helps to kind of add to what this is about and give it that energy, which is what it feels like. Okay, so let me see. Okay, they're still saying there's more. I do see it kind of sitting on a lotus, the whole thing. Balance. Just what you said, 0 point balance.
That's like Khajuraho. It's all built on a lot of mathematical things as well. Khajuraho,
in
the
India.
whole way it's built and brought together is that same thing. Yeah. It's built on a lot of that inner wisdom of the numbers and symbology and stuff. 3 7s, 4s, 4s, 3 7s.
Exactly.
Yeah. 4s, 3 7s, 4s is like a balance, a substantial. 4 is usually like that substantial, grounded.
Right, because there's 4. You know? Yeah, 4 touching the ground or the earth. Yeah.
Right.
And I felt some excitement about this energy when you were speaking of numbers and how they do have balance in terms of, there's a mystery to them too, because they can kind of defy gravity too.
Right.
Sometimes.
Each one of them has a different vibrational substance to it. Each number has a different vibrational substance to it.
Right.
I haven't gone as much into that, it's something to be explored. But the different numbers have different vibrational things, and I think it's like those ones, like I said, that one that thinks in mathematical equations. To them, they would be able to understand this a little easier than other ways of coming to what is source or universal.
That's it. And like I say, this energy got very excited. I see a lot of energy flowing when you're speaking of the numbers and how, but it's not as much that, it's the energy in those numbers. It's the energy in that configuration. It's the energy behind it. And so people get stuck on the numbers, but that's not,
That's not it. It's
yeah,
the energy. Each one of those numbers has a different vibrational
that's
unit
it.
to it.
And brings certain things in
It has a
alignment,
different,
and
right,
yeah, and
right.
that's they're almost. I see these
Different things
dots,
come
and
into alignment. Right,
right,
right.
that take on a certain, energetic vibration. And I kind of see there's some dots, and I see, these white lines, things connecting, and how they
Right.
connect and merge to form. But I still see that bright light in the center, so it's all coming from that.
Right,
And
it all stems from that. Well, all of the numbers go back and filter to that 0 point
yes,
in the end.
that's right. So they're kind of
Then come out and subdivide and subdivide and subdivide and continue
like
forward
Shakti.
in different connections. Yeah, vibratory connections.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And it feels at least this energy could go on and on with these things, because it can, but they're kind of saying to not get caught in that, because they're showing the diamond again. They're showing that
Right.
diamond.
You still have to come all the way down and filter it down to that 0 point in the end.
And to,
You can get so
right.
caught up in going into
Yeah.
cosmology and getting so vastly blown out that you miss that center point and that still point where everything emerges from. Yeah.
Right, because those numbers go on eternally. And you can get really
Exactly.
lost in that for all eternity. But that's not the eternity there. The eternity is in that diamond, that it all flows from. And
Right.
that's where you need to. Because once you go there, those things, I mean, they're known and they're not known like that. But it's all just, it's felt, it's known, and it's not that way. You don't get lost in all those things outwardly.
Right, all the intellectualization of it, you can get it lost into a very big intellectualization of numbers, etc., and formulas, etc., and all of that. But
Yeah.
if you come to that 0 point balance, then you understand, that all of these things have an energy behind them, and when it starts coming out, that Shakti subdivides and makes the colors, the energy vibration of it makes a color, a different vibration makes another color,
That's
etc., etc.
And
I
as
mean, you could take all of them down to a mathematical equation.
totally.
Colors, how much it's vibrating, not vibrating, the sound of music, strings, how it's vibrating,
Science.
not vibrating, and exactly.
Science, that's what science does. But, and
Exactly. It's like, you play music. You have one string and it's a certain vibration. The length, the width of it makes a certain vibration, etc. That makes a sound. That makes a certain sound. Yeah. I mean, you could go on endlessly about this.
Oh my
these
gosh.
things.
I mean, you could take a leaf and go, and you wouldn't learn about that whole leaf your whole life. So it doesn't,
Exactly.
whatever it is, just know that you're never going to get all information. It's not what matters as much as that diamond, and
Exactly.
because there's a mystery too. I mean, and so I see that diamond with different kind of rainbow colors coming off of it, of those different
Exactly.
things you're speaking of.
So just enjoy it for what it is, and exactly. Enjoy the beauty and the mystery of it.
And it is fascinating. So they are kind of showing a lingam. They're wanting to show you a picture of Khajuraho, which is because they know you enjoy it, as saying thank you in that lingam, and just a way for their saying thank you. So
Yeah, thank
really nice.
you. Thank you for bringing that message.
I tell you could have sat with that one a long time, because there was a lot of fascinating feeling of how things connect, and numbers, and almost like a kind of a brilliant type of energy, kind of interesting.
It is. Like I said, my guru had done all those mantras, and physically this triangle just came up from a stone, 100%. So those energies are there, and they can manifest to be seen. Absolutely, 100%.
They're there. I mean, you could see them or not, and sometimes you do see them. That's all, because they're there. It's there.
Yes, sometimes you do see it, and it is very strong. It
Oh, yeah.
can manifest those things 100%. Yeah.
So interesting.
I have seen it. I have looked at it.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. But a really nice message too. So that one
Yeah,
I
that is
felt.
a nice message. Very
Yeah. Okay, so we've got the little brown lingam back. We'll see what's in it
good.
today.
Oh, we're back to another lingam. Okay.
Let's see what
The
happens.
wild card lingam.
I know, and this one's brown, so I don't know. It doesn't matter, but it's just kind of the only brown one. The others are black.
Only brown.
Okay, I see the brown lingam sitting there as brownie lingamy as it is, and we'll see what happens with it.
That's little brown lingam self.
Yep, a little brown lingam self sitting there. There's some energy. It's clear energy kind of vibrating from it. It's not even white. It's just you can see the little edges of the energy, so it's just clear, but
Yes.
vibrating pretty rapidly. Trying to see what's coming from that lingam because something is growing out of it. Can't quite tell. It's a stream of energy. But so let me see. Okay, they're not answering to questions yet. I think they're just wanting to display this. It is kind of turning more pinky looking and just some, and the other side there's something kind of moving, like growing. Okay, I'm hearing they may be more earth type energy.
Okay.
Okay, they're kind of aid in growth, I think is what they're trying to say. Yeah, which is interesting. I don't know if they have to do with, more earth. That's all I can tell you right now.
Maybe more planetary growth and stuff like that. But
Exactly.
it's good. 2 years that they are there to see that. That's good.
Totally, and we like earth. So, and they are showing some very wonderful, moist, dark, rich earth in which...
We need on it and depleted.
That's it. Very good. Exactly.
It's been very depleted. You can't grow vegetables. They're not healthy anymore. The earth has been really depleted of minerals, etc.
And that's the thing. Right, and the way this earth looks, you don't always see it looking. I mean, it's just dark, almost black with rich nutrients and soil. And I do see some roots in there. It's kind of white roots, and I do see some things sprouting, and it's wonderful. So, and a light burst just at how this is being displayed. It's almost like saying, that's there, and the sun is there. Really. Okay, so
it needs to have some planetary healing.
Oh, yeah, that's the whole message.
Like I said, that someplace the earth is just so depleted of minerals and stuff, and that it really does need to be regenerated.
They are showing some dry, cracked earth, and they're and then I see this other image of this is what it could be. This is what it has the potential for. But they are showing a sun, and they want to help that way with that kind of sun energy to help refresh the soil and the earth and help things to grow again, which is such a lovely image.
We need it.
And then now from
We
that,
need it.
totally from that, I see these wonderful, just kind of growths of different sorts of vegetables, fruits, all these things that.
Right. I mean, it's become so bad, and now all the stuff is genetically engineered, the corn and everything. It's not healthy. It's not good for you, and the genetically modified things, and it's to make it more easy to grow. It's not good. It's not healthy.
They did show
None of those things are healthy.
Exactly, and they showed an image of junk food. I see rising up of kind of. I think they're kind of saying junk food for spirit isn't good. It's both. It's what you take in, and it's also what you're taking into your spirit. That maybe a lot are taking in junk food for their spirit, and this is here as spirit to say take in the rich nutrients for your spirit.
Right. So again, you got to watch. We have to get a handle on things like the genetically modified fruits and vegetables and stuff too, because they're
For sure.
really not good.
Both.
Not good at all.
It's really
Yeah.
speaking to both. Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, the junk food is easier to manage, but the genetically modified stuff, it's in a lot, especially corn. Corn, a lot of it is genetically modified now. Really not good for you at all. There's becoming more and more of the genetically modified stuff. So hopefully they get a handle on that it's really not good, and that can get turned around back to healthy things again.
So maybe we should go back to the old ad from yesterday. Support your local farmers.
There you go.
It just, I mean, really support some of the local things.
The farmers that are not using genetic modified crops.
Right, but a lot of them don't. That's why they don't, not many people, because it is a little more expensive. But, the chicken and grass grown and all the good, healthy, organic stuff is a little pricier, but to support that,
Right.
That's just me talking. That isn't what the Lingham's saying. But, just to kind of, but anyway, the point is, they're there, that sun is there too, and that earth does need to be, if people, more awareness come to that. These things need to be replenished. And it's such a beautiful image of this dark, rich, black soil in the sun that, is there. So,
yeah. Possible to turn around, but they're going to have to make efforts to do it.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Thank you. And I saw these wonderful rich foods that they want to display, fruits and vegetables, and it's making me hungry. It looks so good.
Yeah, me too.
Give me a nice fresh juice right now. I'll take it. So, okay, there's the next one. Okay, there's light coming from this stone. Okay, they have questions about rebirth.
Okay.
But they look like so much made of love. I don't know. So they're not worried about rebirth for themselves.
Okay.
More for others.
So what is their question with that?
I think it's just sending. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, they're just trying to sending good energy for, really more auspicious rebirth and the planet in terms of, rebirth and regrowth and it's just a stream of white energy. It's really lovely.
Hopefully ones coming in for rebirth will, go to the higher things and, pick higher births. Some of them, they leave and they get reborn almost immediately if they're attached to more mundane stuff sometimes. They can be attached to some things and they'll take rebirth real quick and not do it on a spiritual level.
Yeah, where they don't have, that's true. I mean, all sorts of things like that.
They're attached to, they're attached to drugs, or they're attached to sex, or they're attached to something, and they sometimes will be drawn into a body real quick and not come to the other side and take time to really do growth.
Makes sense, to reflect. There you go. Needing some time and space to reflect and see what really took place and how they can change that. But you're right, if they're so fuzzy, how can sometimes they're so out of it with for whatever reasons, drugs or this or that that
they just want to get back into a form to continue on with that stuff.
Ooh, that's definitely not good. Okay, the spirit is just really graceful in their moving around and kind of so fluid and light, and some lotus flowers and just really very, very lovely fluid energy that's just they're doing their best to help. That's all I can say. So, they don't have any questions.
Yeah, it sounds like they're just like a helper spirit, and wanted to, say we wish that the best for humanity, that they would make wiser choices.
And we'll take that. That's beautiful, beautiful energy, really. Some of these energies, people need to know they're there. Come on, what can I say? Okay, they're all around, So,
exactly.
Right, partake in it, please. So, okay, so this one. Okay, so what I'm seeing is something about, is it Christian Science? Christian Science, does that make sense?
Oh yeah, I know. What about Christian Science?
I did see a flash of LA, Los Angeles.
Of what?
Los Angeles, and then I heard Christian Science.
Yeah. So far, so good. They want to ask a question about it or say something about it?
They've been there.
Oh, okay, doing Christian Science there. Okay.
I don't know, something about they knew some of the celebrities. I don't know, but the thing is,
not Christian Science. That would be Scientology.
Okay.
Christian Science is a totally different thing.
Okay, I'm trying to get.
Christian Science or Scientology?
Right.
Sounds more like Scientology. I don't know of a Christian Science thing there that deals with celebrities. Scientology, yes.
Yeah, they're spelling out more Scientology, and they are reflecting LA and some of the celebrities.
Yeah, that would be Scientology. Yeah.
Okay. So that's what that is. It just needed to it takes a while sometimes to get clear what's there. I do see LA, I see the buildings, I see the smog, I see, the busyness there. And I feel the vibrant energy there too. So anyway, hey, it's a nice break from Florida. So anyway, okay, so, okay, they are out of body. So let's see,
yeah, what do they have to say about the joy of Scientology?
They don't like it. Of
course not.
They got involved in it, but they don't like it. That's all that I'm hearing.
Yeah, they shouldn't. Because what happens with it, I can tell you about Scientology. I know about Scientology. The further you go, the more they get into these entity things, that you've got implants from entities and all of this drama there. It starts out okay. Basically getting a handle on your emotions and being not controlled by them and stuff. They're supposed to be releasing those so you can get a control. But the further you go into it, the more they go off and get skewed, that you have some alien implants and this and that. It just goes really off.
And that's funny because I heard the word alien in there, and it just had a little bit of a creepy feeling.
Yeah, exactly. It does. The further you get into it, the more creepy it gets.
Yeah. So let's see what else. Where they're at now, maybe, with their journey.
Yeah, or what they wanted to say about that. But yeah, no, I know about Scientology. Mm-hmm.
They hope that gets cleansed, gets purified.
Yeah, we hope so, because it does go really off. It takes people from wanting to get a handle on their emotions and make things better. But if somebody really is having mental health problems, they don't get them help. They've had some really bad things happen. Kids that have schizophrenia and stuff really need to be on medication. They wouldn't get a medication. People have died from it. I mean, some really bad stuff has happened. And that, like I said, the further you go, the more they indoctrinate you into a fear that you need to be clear of these, I forget they call engrams or whatever, but something implanted by alien stuff. It's just really gets you off in a fear base.
That's the way it feels.
It's not good.
And kind of maybe a little bit prestigious too, because I think people that are involved in it some of them have a lot of money, you know.
Well, they do. And like I said at the beginning, it sounds good because it's basically, you know, you keep repeating an emotional thing till it's got no charge. So that part of it sounds good. You know, you get beyond that stuff. But the further you go, the more they indoctrinate you into fear and this and that and aliens and they're controlling. And I mean, it really gets off and it's really can be harmful.
That's what it sounds like. So they are trying to put out some energy for that to be cleared. They had a really... Let me see what they're... So what I'm seeing with that, at first I see kind of a lighter and then a darker. So they kind of, when they first started, they felt a little bit, and then it got pretty
what I said, and then
dark.
It gets darker and darker as you go.
And it did make their life not so good. I mean, they confined themselves more. They were more afraid. They were not as open to life.
You get into fear-based. You get fear-based, and you've got to push away people that are not. Exactly. It becomes very cultish the further you go.
Right, and I see some kind of...
Instead of opening up and finding out there's nothing to fear, then they get, you know, enclosed in a cloud of fear.
That's exactly it, because I do see some jail bars coming up, kind of like what happened is it's a whole new set of conditionings that are heavier than before you came in many ways. And so it's just in a darkness that does keep a block against, you know, for you and just life itself. And you don't talk to certain people, and you know, you just all these things. I'm different.
It's the same thing that what's that? Well, Shen Yan or what's that?
Shen Yang,
it's what's happening. Okay, the basic energetic practice is fine, but you start getting into the philosophy thing of it, and it goes way off. It goes way off into this, and you need to protect yourself against this and that and these other things. It goes really off.
And you know, and then it controls your life. It runs your whole life. It's kind of like an energy that ends up running you in fear.
It's not taking you to freedom at all. It's taking it as a way to control you,
a power thing in there.
There's a way to control you.
And there's a power thing.
It's not good.
It's not good, and I think it's power, and it also doesn't. It's not good nourishment for what we're needing here now. And you know, they're portraying that with someone in a cell. It's just kind of wanting to put that out, I guess, to humanity a little bit about that particular whatever philosophy that people are going on with called Scientology.
Right.
So they just are. It's a prison. It was a prison to them, is all that they can reflect, and it really. I think they had broken relationships from it, and a lot of things that put a lot on something that was never there, and it just broke things apart for them. It really hurt. It hurt their lives and their heart. They're saying.
Yeah.
They knew some of the celebrities. I don't know. But
the good news is that they're out of it now. And they can work from the other side and work and continue to help to break through that stuff.
Right, because I think you know they did have.
It's very, very sad.
Yeah, and I think they did like some of the people in it. You know, they liked some of them, and they seem to be like maybe they're not bad people at all, but they just really have. It's just there's that potential there to really go off, you know, in the wrong direction.
Right.
So. Okay, so let's see what else they are. I am seeing as we're speaking some of those bars being dissolved. So they are they want to be on a purer path. They want to be on a they want to learn from that and move onto a purer pathway now.
Right. So if they would like, they could have the COS if they would like that.
Oh, they'll gladly take that in, and I do see light radiating when you mention that. So they're very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So interesting, huh?
Oh yeah, no, I'm familiar.
I know you've had some experience with that, and yikes.
I've had some experience with it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was initiated into the Sea Org,
okay.
which is kind of supposed to be for lifetimes commitments and stuff for Scientology, but I got out very, very rapidly.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
I was there a short time. I was involved in a lot of different things, but it was good because I got to see what the inner workings of them are, what they are and what they're not. So I have a little bit of background in most of these things to see, again, what it is and what it's not, and how it's beneficial and how it's absolutely not. So,
which is so helpful. Yeah.
They really get people caught up in that, and you go in very sincerely, and you think that some of it on the surface sounds good, but the more you get into it, the more you see how it goes off.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's a blessing.
Really not
no. And it's a blessing now that you have had those experiences, because it really does help to shine a light on a lot of different pathways and how people can get really, on the wrong roads. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Plus, it's the same thing, it seems to have see the light in it, but the problem is it starts going off and you don't notice it's going off, and it gets pulled further and further and further away from the light. It gets skewed.
Right. Yeah. And if you're vulnerable.
So it sounds like at the beginning it has the potential for beneficial things in the beginning, and some of it could be beneficial to some degree, but then you start getting where it's going off, and it really, the further you go, off it is.
Exactly. And I think for those souls that come in that are vulnerable and lost and, kind of impressionable, I guess, it can really take them on the wrong journey. But it's just something to put out there for people to sit with and see if that's all. So, okay, so we'll move along to this next one. Okay, I see this rock here. It's got a lot of sunny energy coming from it, which is nice. I kind of see some rolling hills and a bright sun coming up. Cute. They're a happy energy, sunny and bright.
Okay.
Kind of a playful energy. They're kind of wiping that all clean, and then they got the sun sparkling and all that fun stuff. It's cute, rainbows, and looks kind of kid-like, but it's really it's fun. It's kind of kid-like. It's like this spirit is kind of childlike. Happy land, and they're just kind of they're coloring in all this happy images and all that good stuff. So let's see what's happening with them. They do want to put out to be happy, be happiness. And I kind of see it, all of that beautiful sunshine and everything coming into a cup. They want to offer that nice drink for everyone today of sun and brightness and life and happiness.
That's nice.
So here's your wonderful cup for humanity. Drink it down, and then they're smiling with a big, big, big smile. So I think that is cute, isn't it? I think they had a little piece of mint on top of it too to make it decorative.
A little refreshment for everybody.
That's right.
That's
sounds so good. It was in a nice cold cup with a little piece of mint, a little cut up piece of strawberry on it. Come on.
That sounds so good right now. Could you just send it through the screen?
That's the thing, man. Wonderful cup of sunshine. Oh, this sounds nice and cold and fresh. I think the earth energy and them got
really
together.
Nice. This present time.
Yeah, the earth energy and that one got together, maybe made this wonderful drink. Doesn't that sound like that would be good?
Yeah,
So
that sounds good. I want to know when they're opening their shop.
I
because,
know.
We'll all be there in line.
what market? Well, maybe the Sunshine Market or something. It'd be so cute.
Exactly.
Be so all the
I've been
fresh.
there.
Oh, in a minute. In a minute. They're trying to transmit the feeling as best possible with this drink. So
Yeah.
they're putting a straw in it. Just drink it up. Slurp it up. Okay, so next we got I like those little spirits that come in like that. They kind of break up any of the, it's just kind of fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay, so we got this little pink guy, and then we've actually got 5 more. With as little as we had, it's a little longer today, so it's working out.
Yeah.
So this little guy, let's see. Okay, they're coming up in kind of white wear. They're playing some kind of instrument. Looks almost like a horn, or I don't know. Kind of heralder of life. I don't know.
Right.
They're kind of have this horn kind of blowing about, it's time for life to begin, I guess. Okay. Okay, I see some people, they're showing beds like wake up from your sleep, get up, move, get awake, and stop, rub that sleep out of your eyes and look out at the light, be there for the light. The light's coming.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Wake them up. Wake them up.
Shake, and they've got
Like
that
the
horn.
Angels with their big horn.
Exactly.
And just, signs of vibration. Wake up.
They're playing that horn loud, so if you listen, you can hear that horn. It's a wake-up call, guys. Anyway, it's kind of cute, though. I see these sleepy people getting out of their beds, coming to the window. There's this light, kind of, oh, what's happening? Trying to... Exactly. So, and they're just blowing away. With all of their life and might and being, they are putting their heart into waking this wake-up call.
Wake up call for humanity.
It's cute. It's cute. Okay, thank you so much. They're just blowing for all their might.
Waking up humanity. They're getting on the big one.
They're just like, what? I just, kind of out of it and looking out and, oh, okay. But I'm telling you, they were just putting their whole being into that. So it was really kind of cute. Okay. So, I don't know what's coming next. Okay, so this is a really dark rock. It's probably one of our darker rocks, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Compared to the lingam, it'd be that, and then the black lingam. That's the darkest rock. I don't think I've seen that one before yet, so it'll be interesting.
We just found it darker than that. We have one over there that's totally opaque.
Okay, that's good to know.
Nobody's been in that. Well, a few have tried to come into that, but they were ones that had to be
interesting.
Ushered away right away. So, well, we have had a couple wanted to go into that, but they were always ones that needed to be ushered.
Well, here it is for everyone to see one more time. Am I in there? Yeah.
Yep, got it.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
very dark, smoky quartz.
Very, very dark. So we'll see what it's got to say. I do actually see some light and little sparkles in there. So that's nice. You can't judge a book by its cover. That's for sure.
No, sometimes that darkness is kind of comforting for some, and the richness to it.
The richness is what I think is such a good thing to that darkness. It's rich and deep and mysterious. So can be. And so again, I see a lovely, like a diamond ring in there. Beautiful diamond ring, big diamond, Gold, diamonds and gold, really. Oh, wow. Let's see what's happening. They're kind of putting it on a finger or a hand. I don't know. Interesting. And I see kind of another sort of wedding thing again. Bride and groom, and they're doing their kiss, and they're really kind of sweet. The bride has that ring on their finger, so we'll see what else is there. Okay, they're saying it's more of a message.
Okay.
Kind of hearing of divine union, or more that union, union,
Okay.
yoking, bonding, coming together. Those,
Yoking.
yeah.
Mhm.
Commitment for life, sort of thing. With this dedication. It is just symbolizing that, even through the hard times, like they say, through thick and through thin and all that. And, that commitment, when that's there, and that's, it's for lifetime or lifetimes until that diamond is entered. And you think it's just a display of the path in a way,
Right.
through that imagery. And also love, love. And so I see those images coming together. There is a nice heart that's arising from it. Yeah, and I'm just hearing union. Oh, it's nice. Yeah.
It's a good message. Thank you.
Beautiful. Man, those diamonds, when
Yeah.
those come out, those are beautiful diamonds. I don't think you can buy one that pretty. That was so nice.
Yeah. Yeah, they're hard to find. They're very rare.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, some of them are very, very, very expensive. Very.
Yeah.
Totally flawless.
Yeah. Exactly. With the
Very,
line.
very expensive. Yeah, they're not cheap.
Oh boy. It's gorgeous stuff. Okay. So
I don't even want to think of what they are per carat.
oh, I would imagine.
These diamonds, they're really, really hard to come by and very, very expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's as close as I'll get to one, is seeing it that way. That's it.
There you go.
Okay, so this one. Okay. Seemed kind of some birds coming from it, but more like birds that, big birds. I don't know.
Big bird.
Not big bird, but big birds, like flamingos and different birds that run on the ground more.
Well, thank God.
Not big bird. I hope he doesn't visit. I just, that would be a little too much. So,
You never know. Big bird. You never know.
Big Bird and Bert and Ernie and all that, they can stay in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's a message in all things. You never know, Miss Piggy.
Exactly. I'm trying to come in with the mathematical thing,
That's the thing. Trying to teach, they've got a lot of lessons they try to teach on that Sesame Street. But anyway. So, simple lessons. So anyway, which are good lessons. So, we're getting off on something else. So I saw big birds. I see flamingos. I'm seeing big white birds, all sorts of running birds that like to run. So ostrich even. Anyway, let's see what the thing is with these birds. Gosh, do people ever ride ostriches, do you think?
They do.
Okay, because that's what I saw. Someone was on an ostrich's back, and I don't know what that's about. Do they get on ostriches and run? They're the fastest birds, I think. They are one of the fastest animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have races?
Yeah. I forget. I heard it before. They have kids that ride the ostrich. Yeah.
I believe it because I'm seeing someone riding an ostrich, and I don't know how that relates to anything. And it's
It remains to be found out. I don't know how this can come in, but
I don't
interested
either.
to
See,
hear
this
where
one I have no clue how this will tie in. God. So let's see. There's still birds. A lot of birds. 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 Okay. Okay, they're not worried about birds.
Well, that's good.
Okay, why are birds coming? Don't know yet. Seeing some bird kind of flying down like a hole, like a dark hole, flying there. Okay, I'm still not getting this. I'm not gripping onto this thing yet.
Yeah, I'm not getting it either. That's a strange symbology. A bird flying down a hole. Ask if they can bring a little more clarity to that.
I'm going to bring a light burst their way, like, light, please. Light. Boom. Now it'll be all clear, right? I'm asking for clarity. I'm sending clarity signals and question marks.
Yeah.
So...
I know they have a message in there somewhere.
They're saying something about they feel like they're a bird.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
Thank God. I was...
You need to take flight and go in and maybe that's what they're trying to convey. You kind of need to take flight and be willing to go where you need to go.
Yeah, as we're talking, there's a bird, and it's got these long white wings, just... So I think they're saying, that kind of release is what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Oh, they want to manifest as a bird.
Oh, okay. I want to be...
They want to be a bird. They want to manifest as a bird. Anything bird is good for them.
They like bird. Well, I'm sure that they give out to the universe and, who knows, they may be able to go forward to be a bird. I don't know why not. It's not just, I don't know why they couldn't go into a bird manifestation if they want.
I just want to see why. I mean, what kind of thing they're going on here, just curious. They want to fly over the land. Yeah, they want to fly over the land, the mountains, the sea, the ocean. They want to fly through the clouds. They want to land on branches. They just want to go when they want to go, and they want to go even and eat the little bits of food that people drop and then fly away again. I mean, they want to sit in bird baths. They want to fly over. They want to fly.
Yeah, they want to. Yeah, they just want that freedom. They think that it's going to come from that.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. They do want to be like a bird, a little bit of white bird. Maybe if it comes, I think they're saying it more something of peace. I mean, they want to bring, if that brings any good energy, they would be happy to do that. But they still want to be a bird. So.
Well, they can pick up a word and be a bird. I mean, you learn that you're going to have a lot of the same lessons you have here, but that's something they have to find out.
Wow, you just ruined their little bird bubble.
Sometimes it's not always what it seems to crack that is being around.
You're mean. No, I'm teasing.
The other side of the fence.
They were flying through in the sunset. They were, and then you said that. That's okay. They feel like their wing might have gotten a little... Huh? They feel like
Didn't
they're,
flip out her wings, their wings had been flipped a bit.
yeah, a little bit. It brought them down to earth a little bit. Wow. They thought they'd have it all good with that bird thing.
They're prey and they for another bird. And I mean, you got thunderstorms and you're out in the wind and the rain and it's not a, again, yeah, they're gonna.
They're going. They're kind of on their feet are on the earth now. Let's see if they're going to rethink this bird thing, because they're kind of, what? I thought I'd just fly into the sunset and over mountains and streams and beauty and be wide and carry a nice, be, woo, here I am.
Exactly. Yeah, they got a little bit of a false illusion about it, but the more.
I think you burst their bird bubble. So
we'll check that out.
let's see if you burst their bird bubble, or what's going to happen with them if they still indeed want to be a bird. Let's find out here. Let's tune in and find out. They're not sure.
Yeah.
They're not sure if they want to be a bird.
Ask for the best rebirth for their
There you go. Can we give them the COS? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mix live with the COS.
You burst their bubble. Okay, so let's go on.
I know. Well, people think it's greener on the other side of the fence, and they have all these illusions and fantasies about what it's going to be like. It's a fantasy.
Totally. I think it'd be a hard.
Not the same as the reality.
I think it'd be hard being a bird. You're out in the cold and the ice, the snow, and you're trying to find food and.
Exactly. It's not this grand thing that they think it's going to be. It can be. It's the same thing. You got birds of prey. You got animals that prey on birds. Cats. I mean,
I think wild animals have it really tough.
Out there.
Totally.
Yeah.
Wild animals actually have it very tough.
Again, they're driven to look for food.
Yes. Protection. No, you sleep with one eye open. I mean, if you have babies or even yourself, anything can come in any time as a predator. It's not a fun life.
Exactly.
It's not a fun life. He's rethinking. I would too.
Well, you could come as a caged bird. You could come as a caged bird, and you could be,
That's true. Maybe
could be put in a zoo.
A place that you could fly freely, but I don't think they want that. They want to go right into the sunsets. They want to go over the mountains.
Exactly.
I don't think that's their thing either. So anyway.
They want the fiction. Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Now, here we go. But, we do want to put out energy for the birds because they do have a hard life. And we, Okay, so we'll go to this next one. Oops. You just bring the reality in there, but you have to, because that's not going to be that way for them. Not going to be that way.
Exactly.
So, might as well get the good lessons now before you come in and have to live that way.
Exactly. Be careful.
What you asked for.
That's one of those things you'd be careful.
Exactly. Okay, so we got this one and two more waiting. Yeah, you're starting to cut out. It is starting to not be so good, the connection. Just so you know. Ew, I'm one. We'll not coming in.
No, I think that's the survey.
Okay, maybe it's going to start up a little better. Let's do you want to do our best to get through these last three?
No, I think just leave them.
Okay, because it's starting to not be good at
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
I think that's perfect. There's.
It's going to one. Just stop.
Okay, just.
It's 111. 11.
It's 1111. Oh, right now. Oh, for you, 11:11. Okay. For us, for here, it's 12:11. 1111.
Right.
Yeah.
Time.
Okay. A good time to stop?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'll let you go, Gurji.
Okay.
Okay, namaste. Bye.
Hey.
Bye.